Have you ever stood in front of your freezer and thought, this stuff is supposed to be convenient, maybe even healthy, right? Well, what if I told you that some of the most common frozen foods could be silently damaging your heart, and not just a little? I'm talking about foods that raise your blood pressure, harden your arteries, and set you up for heart failure, all while you think you're making a smart choice. Right now, millions of older adults are eating these foods every single week, completely unaware that they're slowly triggering heart attacks, strokes, and dangerous inflammation. And no, we're not talking about fast food or takeout. These threats are sitting in your freezer, just feet away from your kitchen table. In today's video, we're exposing the 4 worst frozen foods you should never touch, and the 4 frozen foods you actually should eat daily to protect your heart and stay strong well into your 70s and 80s. We've ranked each one from least to most dangerous, and least to most healing. So you'll know exactly what to avoid, and exactly what to put on your plate instead. And make sure you stick around, because the number 1 worst frozen food isn't just bad, it can increase your risk of stroke by up to 78% in older adults. And hardly anyone's talking about it. Every fact in this video is backed by real clinical studies and human research. We've simplified the science, but if you want to go deeper, we've linked every source down in the description. But first, tell us in the comments, how old are you and when's your next birthday? We read every single one, because your story matters. Alright, let's get into it. Number 4, frozen breaded fish fillets. Now, frozen fish might sound healthy, after all, it's fish, right? But if it's breaded, fried, and boxed up in the freezer aisle, it's no longer heart-friendly. It's a cardiovascular time bomb. Most seniors pick up breaded fish sticks or fillets thinking they're getting protein and maybe even some omega-3s. But here's the truth. That breading is usually made from refined wheat flour, packed with sodium, and fried in hydrogenated oils, which are loaded with trans fats. And according to the British Medical Journal, even small amounts of trans fats can raise your risk of heart disease by 23%. And don't forget the sodium, most of these fish fillets contain 500 milligrams or more per serving. That much salt pulls water into your blood vessels, increases volume, and puts serious pressure on your heart. Over time, that leads to water retention, high blood pressure, and stiff, inflexible arteries. But it gets even worse. During the frying and freezing process, these fish fillets are exposed to something called advanced glycation end products, or AGEs. These compounds damage cells, interfere with insulin, and actually speed up aging in your arteries. One study published in Circulation Research found that older adults with high levels of AGEs had double the risk of developing atrial fibrillation, a dangerous heart rhythm disorder that affects nearly 1 in 3 people over 65. And as for the fish itself, it's usually cheap, low-quality white fish like pollock or basa. Not only are these low in nutrients, but they're often soaked in phosphate additives to make them last longer. Those phosphates have been linked to kidney stress, calcium imbalance, and, you guessed it, stiff arteries and a higher risk of stroke, especially if you already have heart or kidney issues. So if your heart feels fluttery after eating frozen breaded fish, or your ankles swell the next morning, don't ignore it. That's your body raising the red flag. Instead, reach for wild-caught fish, fresh or frozen, that's not breaded. Bake it or steam it with a little olive oil, lemon, and garlic. That combo doesn't just taste amazing, it actively lowers inflammation and improves endothelial function, which keeps your blood vessels smooth and healthy. If you've made it this far, you're already taking smart steps for your health, and I want to say thank you for being here. If you're finding this helpful, go ahead and hit that subscribe button, like the video, leave a comment, and share this with someone you care about. Especially a parent, spouse, or friend who could use this info. Don't forget to check out our other videos, too. We've got more coming your way with simple tips to help you stay strong, sharp, and independent. Alright, let's keep going. Number 3, frozen pizza. It's quick, it's cheap, and let's be honest, it tastes good. But for older adults, frozen pizza is one of the worst frozen foods out there. Behind that crispy crust and gooey cheese is a dangerous mix of ingredients that hit your heart harder after 60. Let's start with the salt. One small frozen pizza, the kind you eat by yourself, can have over 1,200 milligrams of sodium. That's almost your whole daily limit in just one meal. Now here's the problem: as we age, our kidneys lose some of their filtering power. So all that extra salt stays in the bloodstream, increases fluid retention, and raises blood pressure. Over time, this increases your risk for left ventricular hypertrophy. That's when the wall of your heart thickens, making it less efficient. According to the American Journal of Clinical Nutrition, that condition raises the risk of heart failure by 72%. And the crust? Usually made with bleached, refined flour, no fiber, no nutrients, just fast-burning carbs that spike blood sugar. That causes insulin surges, which lead to something called glycemic variability, and that's been linked to hardened arteries and plaque buildup. That's the kind of damage that leads to silent heart attacks and strokes, the ones you don't feel until it's too late. And let's talk about the cheese, or rather, fake cheese. Most frozen pizzas use processed cheese substitutes that contain vegetable oils, emulsifiers, and additives like sodium phosphate. That's what keeps it gooey and stretchy, but it also disrupts your body's calcium balance. Too much phosphate can actually leach calcium from your bones and harden your arteries. One study from Kidney International found that older adults with high phosphate intake had double the risk of artery calcification and a 38% higher risk of cardiac death. As if that weren't enough, many frozen pizzas include nitrates, preservatives, and hydrogenated fats in the meat toppings. These can increase oxidative stress in both the heart and brain. That's been linked to high blood pressure, cognitive decline, and sky-high cholesterol levels. So if you've ever felt bloated, dizzy, or just off after eating frozen pizza, that's not just in your head. It's your body warning you, this isn't food, it's a cardiovascular trap. A better choice? Try making your own mini pizza at home. Use a whole grain pita, real tomato paste, fresh mozzarella, and toppings like spinach, garlic, and olive oil. It's fast, heart-smart, and actually helps improve blood flow instead of blocking it. Number 2. Frozen fruit smoothie packs. Now this one might surprise you. You've seen them in every grocery store, those handy pre-cut frozen fruit pouches labeled antioxidant-rich or immune-boosting. But for people over 60, these smoothie packs might actually be doing more harm than good. Why? Because they're usually packed with high glycemic fruits like bananas, mangoes, and pineapple, often in large amounts that can spike your blood sugar fast. Even if there's no added sugar listed on the label. Even if the label says, no added sugar, the natural sugar load from all that concentrated fruit can overwhelm your body's ability to respond, especially if you're over 60. As we age, glucose metabolism slows down, and many of us start developing insulin resistance without realizing it. That means a smoothie that used to give you energy now sends you on a blood sugar roller coaster. A 2020 study in diabetes and vascular disease research found that seniors with elevated post-meal blood sugar had a 48% higher risk of cardiovascular events, even if they weren't diabetic. And here's something else most people don't know. Many frozen fruits lose a good chunk of their vitamin C and polyphenol during long-term storage. So you get the sugar, but not as many antioxidants to protect you from the sugar's effects. And that sugar? It increases oxidative stress, damages the endothelium, that's the inner lining of your blood vessels, and accelerates arterial stiffness. Worse, a lot of folks blend these packs with fruit juice or sweetened almond milk, doubling down on the sugar without even knowing it. What started as a healthy breakfast turns into a crash and burn meal that leads to fatigue, brain fog, and long-term heart damage. Even the superfoods added into these packs, things like acai powder or goji extract, often come in dried forms with very few active nutrients left. And some brands sneak in things like citric acid or gel-on gum, which can irritate your gut and trigger mild inflammation, especially if your digestion is already sensitive. Number 1. Frozen microwavable breakfast sandwiches. They look harmless. They seem convenient. But if you're over 60, frozen breakfast sandwiches are a triple threat to your heart. These are some of the most processed, chemically packed frozen foods on store shelves. And they hit you with a dangerous combo: sky-high sodium, saturated fat, and synthetic additives, all in one tiny package. Let's break it down. The average frozen breakfast sandwich packs anywhere from 800 to 1,300 milligrams of sodium. That's over half your recommended daily limit, before 9 a.m. And if your kidneys aren't filtering like they used to, that salt just builds up in your bloodstream, raising your blood pressure fast. A 2022 review in the Journal of Hypertension found that adults over 60 who consumed more than 1,500 milligrams of sodium daily had a 71% higher risk of developing left-sided heart failure. And it doesn't stop there. These sandwiches often include bacon, sausage, or other preserved meats, full of nitrates and nitrites. These break down into nitrosamines, toxic compounds that damage blood vessels, impair nitric oxide production, and make your arteries less flexible. And the eggs? Many aren't real eggs at all. They're liquid egg blends made from powdered egg, emulsifiers, and preservatives. They're cooked, frozen, and reheated at high temperatures, creating even more advanced glycation end products, AGEs, which fuel inflammation and trigger the immune system to attack your blood vessels. According to Circulation, high levels of AGEs in older adults are directly linked to atherosclerosis, arrhythmias, and even memory decline. And finally, the biscuit or muffin? It's usually made with bleached white flour and industrial seed oils, with little to no fiber. That means it hits your bloodstream fast, causing a blood sugar spike that leaves you fatigued, dizzy, or even with blurred vision before your day's even started. If you've ever felt heavy or foggy after one of these sandwiches, it's not just age, it's a metabolic red flag. The bottom line? Frozen breakfast sandwiches are not food. They're a heart attack in a plastic wrapper. Now that we've exposed the 4 worst frozen foods, let's shift gears, because not all frozen foods are bad. In fact, some are lifesavers. Number 4. Frozen spinach. Not exciting, I know. But frozen spinach is a powerhouse for aging hearts. When picked and frozen at peak freshness, spinach locks in natural nitrates that your body turns into nitric oxide, the same compound that relaxes blood vessels and improves circulation. A study in Clinical Nutrition found that just one serving a day of spinach lowered systolic blood pressure by 11 points in adults over 60, in just 1 week. That's more than some medications, without the side effects. It's also packed with magnesium, potassium, and folate, 3 nutrients most seniors don't get enough of. Magnesium helps with heart rhythm. Potassium flushes out excess salt. And folate reduces homocysteine, an amino acid linked to plaque buildup in arteries. Frozen spinach is prepped and ready, no chopping needed. Just sauté it with olive oil and garlic or blend it into smoothies. Number 3. Frozen edamame, shelled soybeans. Frozen edamame is one of the best-kept secrets in senior nutrition. It's a complete plant-based protein loaded with isoflavones, which act like a gentler form of estrogen in the body. That's key for postmenopausal women and men with arterial stiffness. A 2021 meta-analysis in the Journal of Clinical Hypertension found that soy isoflavones lowered systolic blood pressure by nearly 6 points on average. Edamame also delivers arginine, an amino acid that boosts nitric oxide production, just like spinach, and vitamin K2, which helps pull calcium out of your arteries and back into your bones, reducing the risk of arterial calcification. Plus, it's low in sodium, cholesterol-free, and high in fiber, a perfect trifecta for protecting your heart, your digestion, and your energy. Steam it for 5 minutes, season lightly, and toss it in soups, salads, or eat it plain. Easy, affordable, and powerful. Number 2. Frozen mixed berries. Especially blueberries, blackberries, and raspberries. These frozen gems are loaded with anthocyanins, the natural pigments that give berries their deep color, and their powerful ability to reduce inflammation and protect blood vessels. A study in the American Journal of Clinical Nutrition showed that eating berries daily lowered LDL cholesterol by 11% and reduced arterial stiffness by 9% in older adults. Berries also support endothelial function, which controls how well your blood vessels expand and contract. That's one of the earliest signs of heart disease, and it's totally silent. Unlike mango or pineapple, these berries have a low glycemic index and are high in soluble fiber, which slows sugar absorption and feeds your gut bacteria, lowering inflammation across your whole body. And because frozen berries are picked and frozen fast, they're often more nutritious than fresh. Try adding a handful to yogurt, oatmeal, or a protein shake. You may be surprised how quickly your energy improves. Number 1. Frozen unbreaded chicken wings, air-fried or oven-baked. Yes, you heard that right. Plain frozen chicken wings, when prepared without breading, are one of the best daily frozen foods for seniors. Why? Because after 60, we lose muscle fast, a condition called sarcopenia, which puts pressure on the heart and slows metabolism. Wings are rich in high-quality protein, collagen, and key nutrients like B6, selenium, and zinc. They're a complete protein source that helps preserve cardiac tissue and support arterial flexibility. The natural collagen from skin and bone strengthens joints and blood vessels, reducing stroke risk and blood pressure instability. And when you air fry or oven bake them, with no seed oils, no flour, and no preservatives, they become a clean, satisfying, heart-healthy food. Just season with garlic, turmeric, rosemary, whatever you like. Cook them right, and these wings can fight inflammation, preserve strength, and even help reverse early vascular damage. So, what did we learn today? Your freezer isn't the enemy. It's all about what you put in it. After 60, every bite matters. Some frozen foods sneak in toxic oils, sugars, and additives that stiffen your arteries and strain your heart. Others, like berries, spinach, edamame, and chicken wings, can protect you, rebuild tissue, and even reverse the damage that's already been done. Now, we want to hear from you. What's one frozen food you're ditching today? Or one healthy swap you're excited to try? Let us know in the comments below. We read every single one. And if this video helped you rethink your freezer, please take a second to like, subscribe, and hit the bell icon so you never miss a life-saving tip for senior health. Your next meal can weaken your heart, or make it stronger. The choice is yours. Thanks so much for watching, and take care of that heart.